What's going on, guys? Sean here, coming at y'all with a quick little video. Gonna be going over another day of OTAs, stuff that's happening, but we got a bunch of tweets that we're gonna go over, a bunch of things that were reported today, some of the stuff that was talked about, Smitty becoming a wide receiver one, just some of the different lineups. We got a guy out with injury, that's kind of a bummer. Looks like he'll be back for mandatory minicamp, but we're gonna cover it all today. If you're new here, give me a like, give me a subscribe. Comment down below. Let me know who you're looking forward to seeing. Let me know what you heard about OTAs. I'm still early in this, so any information I can get, talk to me about the studio. It's all appreciated. All right, guys, with that being said, let's get right into it. The first thing I seen today is I've been butchering dude's name for 2 weeks now, so I figure it's about time we go ahead and we correct that, get it right. Dontavian Wicks is back after missing last week's media-attended Eagles practice. Makai Lemon not practicing, sleeve on his right leg. First off, apologies, Dontavian. I will get your name right. I'd only seen it in passing. I was just trying to get videos out there. My bad, I'll do better. Second off, Makai Lemon being in a sleeve is terrifying. I hated that when I first saw it. We'll get some more updates later in this video. That was definitely not something that I wanted to see this early on in practice. Also, Eagles rookie Markel Bell, still the first team right tackle with Lane Johnson not here. That's interesting because it's so early on that you imagine they'd want to see all the guys that they can. It kind of tells you a lot about what they think about Bell and what they want to do with him moving forward. He is a massive human being. He was pretty solid overall in college. I don't want to say that he was like too great or anything. He could work on technique a bit. He's going to get better in the NFL, especially with this offense, with the guys around him. He's only got room to grow from here on out. With his size, he's going to be just a monster for years to come. So definitely not a superstar in college, but he needed to go to the right team to become what he could be, and he definitely went there. So a little surprised seeing him starting twice. I think that tells you how big the gap is between him and the next guy, that they really don't even need to look at the next guy. It could also just be they're trying to get him as many reps as possible. He's going to get a lot more early on than he's going to get later. Once the season starts, it's going to be very, very limited, scout team, stuff like that. So it's also important to get him as much work as we can now. So that's probably what they're working on. A fun one here, and something that I'm excited to talk about moving forward because it's going to be scheme related. It's going to be stuff Sean Mannion's bringing to the table. Jalen Hurts with a downfield touchdown throw to Saquon Barkley up the seam. It seems like the defense lost the running back in coverage. Seeing Saquon do more than just run the ball is going to be a lot of fun, or catch short passes out of the backfield, or chip and goes. You know, the same thing that he was doing every time last year. He became so easy to cover because they knew what was coming at him every single time. So it's exciting to see that wide receivers, running backs, tight ends, everybody's going to get a fair go in this offense. Everybody's going to be a part of the passing game. And I think it'll make it a lot easier for guys to all kind of merge and gel, not let anyone get petty about yards and touches. Allow your running back to do what he does good. And Saquon's always been good coming out of the backfield. So you trust him there. It's exciting to see something like this. Another thing we see here, Eagles go 12 personnel from under center to open up 11 on 11. Devontae Smith and Dontavian Wicks at wide receiver, Dallas Goedert and Johnny Mund at tight end. Not really any surprises there. You might kind of rotate Wicks, Makai Lemon throughout the year. You'll see a little bit of them going back and forth. But it definitely tells you what they think about Wicks, where they expect him to go on this team. And it's exciting that he's getting started so fast, especially coming back from injury. Put him right out there, let him go to work. Let's see what he's got. It's going to be good to see. Reek Woolen gets a hand on Jalen Hurts' red zone throw into the end zone to break up a pass. The new Eagles cornerback has had a strong practice. Also exciting, we seen a little bit the other day, OTA's day one. We got to see a little bit of, not see, but hear a little bit about how disruptive he was, his size, just seeing how much of a force he is on the field. Now we're actually getting to see him on 11 on 11s, still doing well, so that's an exciting thing to see. Had he come out slow and started giving us issues early, getting cooked in camp, I know that we've had corners in the past who got cooked in camp and then turned out to be pretty good throughout the year, but seeing him come out strong, it breeds confidence. It makes you feel better about the rest of the team. It's very early. It's OTAs, but at the same time, you want to see him come out and take day one as serious as he does game day. Everything's going to translate. Jordan Mailata on Sean Mannion. He's an evil genius. The guy knows ball. If I were to lock the three smartest people in the building in the room, Sean would be in there by himself. Jordan Mailata, hilarious. He's going to talk everybody up. He's going to hype everybody up, but also a very genuine human being. You understand the words coming out of his mouth. He absolutely means it. It tells you what kind of person Sean Mannion is, gets you excited for the season. Just seeing that everybody on the team from top to bottom, coaching to players, everybody's kind of united early on. They all have a common goal in mind, and the new scheme becomes a lot easier to absolve when you like the person who's giving you the information. A big issue we had last year. It seems like a lot of the players didn't respect Polito. They didn't want to deal with him. They didn't like his scheme. So now this year, getting a fresh start, it's a good look early on. Eagles defensive coordinator Vic Fangio has been selected as the 2026 Paul Dr. Z Zimmerman Award recipient by the Professional Football Writers of America. The Dr. Z Award is given for the lifetime achievement as an assistant coach in the NFL. Very much deserved. Dude has had an unbelievable career. He comes here and in months he absolutely changed this defense. A defense that couldn't stop anyone, that was getting rolled over on by teams that had no business, getting yards on us, deep passes. What he did in 1 year here can't be understated. And these might not even be, outside of our Super Bowl year, these might not even be the best defenses he's ever been a part of. He's just put together so many teams that are so good. He's just done it everywhere. He deserves this. 100% deserves this. I love to see Vic Fangio get the recognition that he deserves. He might get it from other places, but you really don't see it much for defensive coordinators, offensive coordinators if they're not in the hiring cycle. So just good to see him getting the respect he deserves. Also, the Eagles signed running back Elijah Mitchell. The veteran was Eagles rookie camp on a tryout earlier this spring. Just another camp body, just another person to keep around. A guy that was productive with San Francisco, I believe it was a couple years ago. Hasn't really done much since then, but camp body, it'll be, just another good signing, another depth signing. Maybe he finds a way to wiggle his way into the starting rotation, but it's going to be a tough road for him. So good luck to him, but more than likely just a camp body. Eagles not at today's voluntary OTAs. Lane Johnson, Jalen Carter, Fred Johnson, Joe Tryon, I'm not going to butcher the rest of his name, and Holland Pierce. Here but not practicing, Makai Lemon, Jihad Campbell, Britton Covey, Carson Steele, Tucker Large. Those last two names sound fake. They sound like an AI. I know they're real people, but they sound fake. All of those are pretty, the stories are out there. Everybody knows what's going on. Lane Johnson recovering from injury. Jalen Carter, contract/injury. Fred Johnson, probably injury related. Joe, not 100% sure. Holland Pierce, not 100% sure. I'll see if I can find that stuff later. Okay, so to start the day off today, Jalen Hurts throws a pick to Jeremiah Trotter Jr. right to him. Now, I saw another report, I couldn't find it once I came back and started making this video, that said it looked like him and the receiver were not on the same page. So more than likely, it's a timing throw. He thought the guy was going to be there. He wasn't there. Simple as that. It's OTAs. I think Jalen had a year or two ago where he didn't throw a pick through all of OTAs and everyone thought it was, he's going to have an MVP season. He's good. Jalen's always good. I love Jalen, but, OTAs are OTAs. We're here to make mistakes now so we don't make them on the field. It does suck that you start the day off with a pick, but it is what it is. Get it out of the way now, move on, and it's a great lesson for on to the next play. Andy Dalton with a nice touchdown to Hollywood Brown from the 2-yard line. Dalton's had a good day. Got a couple tweets in here talking about how Dalton had a pretty good day. He's a vet. He's played in just about every scheme you could think of. I imagine that this isn't too far from anything he's been a part of before in his career. I know a lot of people don't like the veteran signing in Philly. It's not really something that's worked out. Andy Dalton will be a fine backup. He'd be a fine third quarterback. He's here to teach. He's here to show and teach. He's not a guy that's going to go out and win you the season. He might win you a game with this team, but he's here to be a teacher. Chase Daniel, all the other backup quarterbacks, they're just teachers. So at this point in his career, that's all he's here for. Him having a good camp just makes everything better. That means the scheme is player friendly. That means that if he's having a good camp, I expect Jalen to have a great camp, or I expect him to have a great season because the scheme is quarterback friendly. Quick little clip from Devontae Smith talking about the A.J. Brown trade. Says 1, 2, 3, 4. It doesn't matter what people label him. He just wants to do his job. You'll never get nothing out of Devontae. They can try. That smirk, they'll never get anything out of him. He's here for one reason only: to win championships. Devontae is the ultimate team player, loyalty, respect. I look forward to him being the number one this year. I think Devontae, in a system that's route runner friendly, is going to become one of the top 5, top 10 receivers in the league, and he's going to hold his own just fine this year. We've watched him fight through injuries. We've watched him be the number one in other games before when AJ was out with injury, when AJ wasn't showing up. Not worried about Devontae at all. I look forward to a massive season from him. A longer one here, but a little more context of Jalen's day. It is ESP, take it with a grain of salt. This is all put out there because it gets clicks. But with that being said, clicks attract viewers. That's why we're all here. It was a day of extremes for Jalen Hurts after a fairly quiet day one of OTAs. Hurts started off, with the interception to Trotter. We just talked about that. His next pass was a deep shot to Dallas Goedert. The throw was good enough to catch, but a little ahead of Goedert, who dropped the ball. Jalen throwing bombs already. Not surprising. The other notable poor throw by Hurts was a deep shot to Hollywood Brown, who was open for the touchdown, but the pass was overthrown. He's testing his deep threat speed. Maybe it was overthrown. Maybe Jalen just didn't hit the guy when he needed to. But more than likely, at this point, with how little they've played together, Jalen's testing his speed. As a quarterback, he's looking for how far can he really uncork it. He's been with A.J. Brown for a while. He's been with Smitty for a while. A lot of other guys. So with these new guys, they're going to have test plays. Test plays are, hey, Jalen, we're going to give you a second, 2 seconds. Just throw it as far as you can. Let's see where he ends up. That's just going to tell you where he's going to be. Then in the future, they're going to set up drills. This is where he's normally going to be when we throw this deep ball. So Jalen starts getting used to hitting that target, and then when you go into a game, you're not throwing to where the player is. You're throwing off of muscle memory. He's supposed to be here. You have quarterbacks who are more and less accurate, who can then kind of shorten it up a little bit, throw it a little further, inside, outside, back shoulder, stuff like that. That's all you have to adjust in the game. The power, where he's supposed to be, you've already figured that out. You call the right play at the right time, get the right coverage. That's exactly what you're looking for. You're going to hit him where he needs to be hit. This doesn't bother me at all either. Hurts did have 2 touchdowns on the day to balance out some of the bad. His first was a 3rd down play on a deep shot to Saquon, who was wide open. There wasn't a defender within 5 yards of Saquon who walked in easily. Again, we talked about this a little bit. The scheme is going to be player friendly. Running backs are going to have a chance to catch the ball in a lot of different places. It's going to be exciting to see all of our guys get tested this year. Hurts' other touchdown was a bit more controversial. Hurts held onto the ball in the pocket long enough that some defenders thought the play was over. Hurts did end up throwing it to Wick in the back of the end zone for the touchdown, but most defenders felt it shouldn't have counted. When you're in a real game, Jalen Hurts doesn't have 5 seconds. Lamar Jackson doesn't have 5 seconds. These guys, the play goes on. All right. I understand you're trying to keep people from getting hurt. Jalen is evasive. He's going to get in and out of things that he shouldn't. It's a touchdown. All right. If our O-line does 75% of what they've done in the past 2-3 years, it's a touchdown. So, yeah, I'm counting it. Hurts' last throw of the day was to Devontae in the back of the end zone, but the pass was too far ahead of him. The ball hit the hands of Devontae, who had his arms fully extended out, but it bounced incomplete off his hands. Debatable if it was a drop, but with a better throw, it would have been a touchdown. Overall, it was not a great day for Hurts and the first team offense. 9 for 14, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception, C-. Okay, so to wrap all of this up real quick, don't take any of this as gospel. These guys are watching 100 different things going on all at once. All right. He might think he's hyper-focused on Jalen, but he doesn't know what they're actually running, what they're actually doing. Now, with that being said, he's been around long enough to understand most of what they're doing, but it's a new coaching scheme, a new regime. So take it all with a grain of salt. Maybe Jalen is testing wide receivers. Maybe Jalen is testing concepts. They're just seeing what he's good at, what he's bad at. Maybe Sean Mannion intentionally is going to put Jalen Hurts in some bad spots to see what he does bad and where he goes when he's put into a corner, just to see what he gets out of him. So there's a lot of different things going on here, so take everything you read here with a grain of salt. Okay, last couple things we're going to cover here. Makai Lemon injury. He's dealing with a soft tissue injury, per league source. Good news is it isn't of any real concern and he will be good for camp, but he won't practice again during OTAs. This one bothers me a little bit. Guys either get this or they don't get this, and everybody gets soft tissue injuries. Some guys fight through this, some guys don't fight through this. You know, hopefully it's our medical staff just being overly concerned, and it's kind of seems bigger than it is. I don't love seeing anybody getting injured this early, especially minor little nitpicky injuries, because those are the kinds of things, hamstrings and soft tissue injuries especially, can nag you all year long. It can be things that need surgery. It can be things that just heal over time, just takes a certain amount of time. So I don't love seeing this, but it's also, it could just be an overreaction on my part. But this was a little concerning for me personally. Eagles defensive notes from OTAs: Small Munden and Jeremiah Trotter switching starting linebacker aside Bond. Jonathan Grenard rehabbing with a shoulder, didn't participate in team drills, doing gassers with special teams. Reek Woolen broke up a deep ball from Jalen Hurts to Devontae Smith. Jordan Davis to his defensive teammates to start 11 on 11s. I don't give a fuck if it's OTAs. Full speed. I love all of this. The linebacker situation is great. Shows depth. It shows we got the right guys. We knew we had a pretty good shot with both of these guys, but it's always just good to see them actually getting in there, making noise early. Whether it's miscommunications, luck, whatever, they're out there, they're doing their job. It's exactly what you want to see. Exciting to see. Jonathan Grenard rehabbing, no surprises. Put him on ice until game one. Just keep him running, keep him active, keep him doing what he can do. Rehab. I don't need to see anything from him. I want him healthy for week one, and I want to watch him have an amazing year here. Reek Woolen, we're going to keep saying his name over and over and over and over. No one's going to throw at Quinyon this year. Reek is going to be tested. I hope he's ready, because he's going to see more targets than probably most of the cornerbacks in the league. And Jordan Davis. Jordan Davis is turning into one of my favorite players on the team. His work ethic, his attitude, in-game, out-of-game, practice. He's a beautiful human being. He's just so soft-spoken, sings amazing, but he is dominant on the field. He is Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, and it's fantastic. I still think he hasn't even come close to his ceiling yet. I think once he starts getting a bag of pass rush moves, now that he's slimmed down, he's going to be one of the most dominant DTs in the league. He already is in the run game, but I think on both sides, he's going to become one of the most dominant defensive tackles in the league. All right, guys. Well, that's pretty much it for me from OTAs. I got a bunch of stuff here, kind of jumbled it all together. Wanted to cover a little bit of everything. I didn't want to get stuck on any one topic. I know y'all saw the AJ Brown stuff in there. We'll come back to that later. I'm not 100% ready to put out a video on that yet, although I am excited to say what I had to say in some parts, but we'll save that for later. For now, it's Eagle OTAs. This is what we're here for. This is what we're excited for. I'm pumped. Every video, you're going to see me get more excited. You're going to see me come out of my shell. It's just going to get better and better and better. And then when the games hit this season, we're going to start live streaming. We're going to have a ton of fun. I'm looking to grow this channel exponentially over the next year. So I want you guys to stick with me. If you've watched one video, you might as well stick around and watch all of them. With that being said, I love you guys. I appreciate you guys. Thanks for coming through. I'll see you in the next one.